Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and happy Bastille Day. I hope this doesn't attract a comment like us celebrating America's National Day did, which was so tone deaf. That was a strange one. You can't cancel a nation of 260 million entirely. Anyway, we are celebrating the French Day, but much more importantly, we're celebrating Patrick Junker's wife Lucie, whose birthday is today. Lucie's not a big Sudoku fan, but she did sit through our previous solve of a puzzle by Patrick. Now, the puzzle, he recommended 2 or 3 possibles. We're not going with the puzzles with inordinately long rule sets, because we do try and bear in mind that there may be new people watching every video, and a really long rule set is going to take a lot to get one's head around. So we're going with the one with the shortest rule set of the 3 puzzles. It seems that all of Patrick's puzzles feature labyrinths, which is necessarily going to lengthen the rule set. Anyway, we're going to try and deal with this one today. It's called Killer Cage's Dead End. I'm going to go through the rules in a moment. Happy birthday, Lucie. Don't forget that on Patreon you can try our wormy Sudoku hunt regeneration. On the main channel, about today, Simon solving with Tim Dorr, the winner of the last month's puzzle hunt. So he's a Patreon. He submitted a correct entry to the puzzle hunt, as he has done for many years actually, and this time he won, and he got to solve a puzzle with Simon. That's the prize if you wish to accept it. Only one person hasn't so far. On the main channel, as I say. Now, there's other things on Patreon like crosswords and connections videos. There's other things that we recommend like SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD, it's in the links under the video, and our apps which feature Killer Sudoku and Domino Sudoku, and Fog of War, and of course The Worms by Marty Sears and James Sinclair, which are out now as well. Do check them out. Right. Enough waffling. Happy birthday, Lucie. Let's have a look at the rules of Patrick's puzzle. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 has to go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Killer cages cannot contain repeat digits. So there's no repeat digits in that one. And they sometimes show their sums. So we have 28 for that cage. All instances of 5 of the 9 Sudoku digits to be determined constitute an area of orthogonally connected cells, which is a labyrinth. The other 4 digits are considered walls. So it might be, for instance, that every instance of 1, 3, 6 and 8 was a wall, and every instance of 2, 4, 5, 7 and 9 was in the labyrinth, and the labyrinth would have to be all orthogonally connected together. Now, the rules about the arrows are that an arrow appears in a dead end of the labyrinth, pointing to the only way out. That is the only labyrinth cell to which it is connected. So clearly an arrow is a labyrinth cell pointing to a labyrinth cell, and the only one that it can. All possible arrows are given, all dead ends are shown, and a white dot between 2 digits, there's only one of those, indicates consecutive digits that it's joining. Okay, those are the rules. I'm very, very surprised this is enough to solve the puzzle with, but that's interesting. We will give it a go. Do try it on that first link under the video. I'm going to start now. Yeah, I'm just going to, in case my phone beeps or rings, let's keep it away from the microphone. Let's get cracking. Okay, so every arrow and every cell it points to is in the labyrinth. So what colour will we use for the labyrinth? I'm going to choose yellow. And then we can make the walls grey, I suppose. That is a kind of rock colour. Now, every arrow, every other cell that's, I was going to say contiguous, that adjoins the arrow cell, must not be an escape in the labyrinth. So they must be walls. And I mean, that's going to give us actually that's going to give us quite a bit of colouring. The cells I'm shading are cells that are orthogonally connected, that's the word, to an arrow. There we go. Oh, there's another one. Right, so we have this beginning of our labyrinth map. Now we don't have to connect up wall bits, but we do have to connect up yellow bits. Oh, and yes, so this one has to get out all that way. We must know that that's all yellow. There's no checkerboard restriction in this puzzle. Look, we've got a checkerboard there. What there is, though, we were told that every one of the 5 instances of a puzzle are in the of a number. Sorry, every one of the instances of 5 of the numbers are yellow, basically. That's how I'm interpreting it. So this 3 by 3 square has to have 5 yellows and 5 greys, and we've seen for other reasons that it does. So that, sorry, 5 yellows and 4 greys. So it's working. So we can make this box have 5 yellows, which it already has, and 4 greys, so it needs another one. And this box has 4 yellows so far. Okay, let's think about paths. Oh, look, there's a sort of wall forming here. That wall has to be penetrated by the labyrinth. This yellow has to get out. It can join on to this yellow without getting out from the right-hand side, but it can't join on with any of these, so it has to go through here. So those are all yellow. And now we've got, oh look, we've got 4 greys. Okay, I'm going to have to do some serious counting. We've got 4 greys in this column, so that's all the greys allowed. Everything else is yellow. Now we've got 5 yellows in box 3, so those are grey. Now we've got 4 greys in column 9, so those are yellow. Yellow must get out. Grey has no limitations. This yellow has to get out. So we've got yellow getting round to there. We've already actually got 4 greys in the bottom row. So that's yellow. Now we can just count this row. I think we've got 5 yellows already, so that's grey. Oh, okay, here's something else I hadn't thought of. I think there are a couple of 9-cell cages. That one is 9 cells, and we'll have 5 yellows and 4 greys as well, because the cages don't have any repeated digits. This one, look, we've got 8 of the cells coloured, and 5 of them are yellow, so that is grey. And that's the 4th grey in row 6, so the rest of row 6 is yellow. Now here, what have we got? The yellow has to get out there, and that's 5 yellows in the box. Perfect. So those are grey. So the shading bit of this isn't actually the hard part, I suspect. We've got 4 greys there, and that's all we get in column 6, so everything else is yellow. 4 greys in column 2. That's harder to spot. Now I've got 4 yellows in this region. Actually, I could have looked at the row and worked out I was going to get lots of greys here. This yellow has to get out, so that's yellow. Ah, 5 yellows already in box 4, so they're grey. Now I can count column 3. I've got 4 greys, that's yellow. Now I've got 5 yellows in box 1, they're grey. Now I can count row 2. We need an extra yellow. And in this row, oh, I thought it was mixed. No, it's not. It's 2 greys in the row, 2 greys in the box. And in this column, we've got 5 yellows already, so these are grey. And then we can count the rows, or we can work out how to join up with the last yellow. And it's all the same. That's grey, and this is yellow. And there is our 5 minutes to find our cave pattern, our labyrinth. Sorry, not cave. It's a labyrinth. Now, the interesting thing is, in those cave puzzles, we always have clues in the labyrinth about what the numbers are. But these arrows aren't doing that job at all. Only the killer cages are. So here's the 6 cage. We're going to turn to numbers now. That must contain 1, 2, 3. So one of them is one of the yellow numbers, and 2 of them are grey numbers. There's a 15 cage. 5 cells, all different. They're all in the same box. So the minimum total for 5 cells is 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what goes in there. Now, that means in the rest of the box, we have 6, 7, 8, 9. And those are all yellow digits, and there'll always be yellow digits. We've now got a definite set of all yellow, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in box 9, we need to put 6, 7, 8, 9 in yellow. That's got to go in those cells. And these remaining two are 4 and 5, and they're always going to be grey now. I see. I do begin to dimly see how we might be able to disambiguate the puzzle. I still worry that there's not going to be, I mean, all the numbered cages are below row 4. It still strikes me as a bit odd. One low digit is yellow, and it must appear there as well. So that's 1, 2, or 3. 24 is not a useful total. 28? Oh, hang on, this digit is one of the 4 greys in this box, obviously. But in this group of 4 greys, it's clearly there, that digit. Because if you take these 4 greys, which is all the 4 greys, and subtract these 3, you get that digit. And if you take those 4 greys all in the same cage and subtract those 3, you get that one. So that has to be the same. Might be worth thinking about colouring them. I don't know. How are we going to find out which one of 1, 2, 3 is yellow? Oh, okay, 14. Ah, yes, I've got it. Okay. Remember, only one of these 3 cells, well, only one of these 2 cells can be the low digit, the 1, 2, or 3. The other 2 have to be from the 6, 7, 8, 9 set, because in this row, for instance, we can only have 1 low digit. All the others are high. Now, how can we make up the 14 with 2 high ones at least? I think they have to be the minimum high ones, 6 and 7, and the minimum low digit, which is 1. So this cage has to consist of 6, 7, 1. And that means that 1 is the yellow low digit and goes in here. And now we know that all the grey digits are 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 here is the yellow low digit, and we can take 1 out of the other grey cells. And 1 has happened in this row. In fact, 6 and 7 have happened in this row. These digits are from 6, 7, 8, 9. That one is not 6 or 7 because 6, 7 have happened in the row. This digit can't be a 6 on the white dot. Let's use the white dot finally. Now 6 must be in one of those 2 cells, and these 2 can't be 6. Right, and the 28 cage, we know the composition of the 4 grey digits. I'm getting a bit scared. We're about to run out of cages. We've got the 28 cage and the 24 cage left to use. And then I don't know how we disambiguate all the digits, but I dare say we'll find out. Right, 2, 3, 4, 5 here adds up to 14. These 3 digits add up to 14. Well, this is the same situation as here. We know that they can only include 1 low digit and 2 ones that are above 5. And again, it must be 1, 6, 7. So that one can't be a 1 by Sudoku. So one of these is. And we've now we've made up the total of this cage, as long as we resolve these digits. Those other yellows in the row are 8 and 9. I don't know which of these is a 1, but I do know the other cells in the box are from 6, 7, 8, 9. In this column, one of these has to be a 1, so everything else is huge. How are we ever going to disambiguate? I don't know yet. I really don't. This 24 cage then. If this was a 1, these would add up to 23. And they can't, because all of 9, 8 and 6 are yellow. So that is not a 1. That is 6, 7, 8 or 9. The 1 in the column is there. That places the 1 in the other, in row 5 anyway. This is from 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, these two, if they were 9 and 8, 17, these would add up to 7. And there are 2 ways of doing that from 2, 3, 4, 5. which is disappointing. If they added up to the minimum 8 and a 6, that's 14. These would add up to 10. That's a bit too much. Right, this pair adds up to somewhere between 7 and 9. And that doesn't really let me narrow down the field on 2, 3, 4, 5. That is annoying. This is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Okay, all of these are 6, 7, 8, or 9 because we've had the one in the column. The one in the row is in one of those two cells. There's also going to have to be a one in this cage. I don't know how that works. Oh, the one in box 1 has to be yellow, and it's in one of those two. That's an X-wing. That's going to mean that the ones used in columns 2 and 7, 2 of them, will also supply the 2 ones used in row 1 and 3. So we don't have any more ones in row 1 or 3, and the one in the central box is in one of those cells. Now, this cage needs a single one. It's either that one or that one. This cage needs a 1 in it, and it can't be here now, thanks to the X-wing thing. So that's a 1, those two aren't. That's now a 1. And now this cage needs its 1. And that's going to resolve all our 1s. We put a 1 there. Yeah, that's that. I think that works. That sees this cell and puts a 1 here. And the final one in the puzzle goes there. And that's all the 1s done and no other digits. And the other digits are going to be difficult. This was no use at disambiguating 2, 3, 4, 5. Or not much use. All we learned here was that one of these is a 6. I suppose one of those is an 8. The white circle needs an even digit on it, so we can't have 8 in those cells or there. This is not going to get anything done. I mean, I could merrily label all these cells as 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, look, I've got a 6, 7 pair in column. This is because these two 14 bits in column 5. So those digits are not 6 or 7. Am I going to be able to colour against each other? It doesn't feel like there's enough information. It really doesn't. Okay, I'm going to have to try colouring 6s and 7s. I've got so little information this might fail, but let's get rid of the yellow colouring to start with. The labyrinth is now white. And we'll make this one red and this one blue. And that's red and that's blue. And I think this is going to run out immediately. Oh no, it doesn't. Look, there has to be a blue in this box. And it has to be in one of the white cells. Then there has to be a blue in this box. And suddenly we've found it there. Oh well, this is what to do. It didn't seem obvious to me at all, but let's hope this carries on. The red in box 3 is in one of those cells. Yeah, that's good. Because then the red in column 9 is in one of those two. It can't be there because of the red digit here, not just because we've written 8 or 9 in the cells. So it is there in this cell. So the red digit in row 5 is there. That's not a 9 now. That digit is the same as this one because these 4 are the same as those 4 with a common 3 there. 3 of them is what I mean. Now we need a red in box 8. Oh, this is going to run out. Oh, look at the cages, Mark. So this cage already has a red in it, so that can't be red. There we go. So that one is red. Now these two aren't red. And this cage needs a red, and that's the only place it can get it. And that is going to determine all the last red is there. Okay. So all of those are 6 or 7. Right, how are we going to do on blues? Well, yes, okay, that's blue in box 1. Yeah, this is the thing to do. One of those two is blue in box 7. That one is blue in box 3. These two cannot be blue and that's red. So that's blue in box 6. And now this isn't blue, and this is. And one of these two is blue, and I don't know which one. We've got a little X-wing of blues left that I can't quite finish off yet. That's fine. We got a lot done there. So lots of these cells now in the boxes where we've found red and blue cannot have 6 or 7 in. So that's all of those cells. This one can't be a 7. And yeah, you guessed it, we're going to colour 8s and 9s against each other. How are they ever? Oh, this 24 cage still needs to be done, doesn't it? Look, it's now got one low high digit and one high digit. So they add up to somewhere between 14 and 16, leaving these two to add up to somewhere between 8 and 10. They can't add up to 10 because we're selecting from 2, 3, 4, 5. So they add up to 8 or 9. They're either 3, 5 or 4, 5. And they don't include a 2, and they do include a 5. Okay, the thing I was going to do first is colour 8s and 9s, and I am going to do that. You can't stop me. So let's come up with colours that aren't red and blue, orange and green, orange, green, orange, green, green, orange, green, orange, orange, green. Yes, okay, we've had green and orange. They're both there. They're both there. Now, one of these is orange, and this one is green, and is 8 or 9. Does that see? I don't know how that disambiguates. So maybe that was a useless bit of work. Oh, I was going to say, there's no point colouring 4s and 5s because I can't link those to that one. But actually, I can. So now I'm going to be flashing these grey cells with my remaining colours. So let's do pink and yellow for the 4s and 5s. Right, the pink 4 or 5 is in that group, in this cage. So that's the yellow one. Now one of these is a yellow 4 or 5. Oh, we knew that. Oh, look, there's a 4-5 pair here in this column because of the 2-3 pair. So that's a 2-3 pair. So in this cage, that is a 4-5 pair. And they're different from each other. And this one sees yellow. So that's pink. That's yellow. Now that's yellow in the row, and that's pink. And now, look, we do get to get something done. Quite important. We need a pink 4 or 5 in row 4. This is a very clever puzzle, Patrick, by the way. It's got to be there. And that means this is a 3, 4, 5 triple. And this digit, our first one placed in the puzzle that is not a 1, is a 2. And that makes this a 3. I haven't coloured 2s and 3s, but now I'm sort of scoring. We can put 2 in box 5. We can nearly... It's in one of those 2 cells. Oh, hang on, it's good. There's got to be a 2 in this cage. Look at the lovely geometry there. That 2 sees that cell, that one sees that one, and that one. The 2 in the cage has to be there. And that gives us a 2 down here. And this 2 forces 2 in box 1 to be there. That forces 2 in row 1 to be there. This is not a 2. Oh, and these 2 aren't 2s now, so the 2 in box 7 is known. That gives us 3 and 2 in box 9. I think all the 2s are done now. That's 9 of them, yeah. So we're starting with 3s. We get a 3 here. We're going to stop with 3s in a moment, I fear. One of the... Oh, no, we're not. One of these 2 is a 3, so that's not 3. That's the 3 in box 5. That's the 3 in box 2. Now there's a 3 in one of those cells. Right, this cage again needs a 3, and that one sees both of those in its box. So we get the 3 in the cage. You can see how elegantly these cages have been constructed to allow this to complete. It really is neat. This one is not a 3. I'm at a bit of a dead end on 3s. I've got 3s in those positions. So they're going to get resolved by something else, which is probably the total of this cage. Okay, 4s and 5s. Let's go back to those maybe. There's one of each here. I can't. Yes, I can. Look, I've got 4 or 5 there, so I can colour this cell, which is a 4 or 5. This one is also pink because it sees the yellow in its row. That's yellow, that's pink in the corner. This digit has to be 4 or 5. Last one I hadn't pencil marked. That's yellow. I didn't realise, I mean maybe I should have, that this was going to turn into a massive colouring puzzle. Was it blindingly obvious? Maybe. This pair is yellow and a 3. Oh, none of these can be 2 anymore. So this digit is 4 or 5. Why did I know it can't be 3? Yeah, because there's 2 and 3 in the row. So that's yellow. Now this has to be yellow in the column and is not 3. And this is definitely 3. Actually, right, we're going to come back to this cage in a moment when I've finished off 3s. There are the last 2. And when I've finished off colouring 4s and 5s, those 2 are both pink. Have we got pink and yellow flashing in every cage? Every box, I mean, yes. Right, everything is finished. I've placed 1s, 2s and 3s. This cage is going to determine the final sum somehow, because these 2 had to add up to somewhere between 8 and 10, we said. Well, now 8 is the only possibility. This yellow flash is a 5. So I'm going to highlight all the yellows and put 5s in all of those. I'm going to put the grey back and take the yellow out. There we go. Now I'm going to highlight all the pinks and put 4 in all of those because we've eliminated 5. There we go. Take the pink out. So now all the walls are restored to their greyness. And now I have to solve this cage. Right, those add up to 8. These 2 add up to 16. So red becomes a 7. Take out its colour. Orange becomes a 9. Oh, hang on, I haven't done the bottom rows in 6, 7, 8, 9. So the ones I've done I can make into 9s. Green becomes an 8. Yeah, okay, there we go. Blue becomes a 6, but I don't know down here, so let's get rid of it out of those. Okay, so now I use the white dot, and this is where 6 goes in box. Box thing. Just getting rid of my colour. This can't be 7 and it can't be 8. It sees all the high digits. This is a 9. Right, I'm getting rid of all the colour in blues. That's what I'm doing. There we go. And now I'm filling in the final digits in rows 4, 5, and rows 7, 8, and 9. That's a 6. That's a 9. It's joined to an 8 on the white dot. That's a 9. And this is the final puzzle, the final digit. And we have found our way out of the dead end. That is a really neat puzzle. I never actually used the negative constraint about all arrows being given. I'd forgotten it, if I'm brutally honest, but it didn't seem to matter. Congratulations, said the message. You managed to escape the labyrinth, avoiding killers and dead ends. And that's an excellent puzzle. Not that hard for a slightly daunting rule set. And what was actually, to me, a very daunting lack of numbered killer cages. But it turned into a full colouring exercise almost, well, didn't need to colour 2s and 3s really in the end, although I suppose they're all grey. But there we go. Thank you very much, Patrick. Well done. That's lovely. And happy birthday to Lucie. And bon anniversaire if you are. I don't know if you are French or if you're just telling us that it's the Bastille Day. Now, fun fact about the storming of the Bastille, which sparked the French Revolution. on July the 14th. How many prisoners were released? I believe the number was under 10, even though, because there weren't that many being kept there, basically. And you can falsify that fact if you know better. But thank you for watching. I will see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.